What up, what up, what up, y'all? This is Queens, Season 1, Episode 8. This is God's Plan. This is Season 1, Episode 8, God's Plan. So, getting right into it, we're going to try to make it quick, as we usually try to do. The episode picks up where it left off. Bree and Eric are shot, and they're rushed to the hospital. Ambulance shows up. All of a sudden there's news reports, Professor Sex, who shot Professor Sex, or whatever the case may be. There's conflicting reports going out, injuries are expected to be critical. There's reports going out, somebody may be alive, somebody may not be alive. It's a bunch of stuff happening on the show. They get to the hospital and, they're just waiting. They're waiting for Bree to get out of surgery. She's rushed to surgery, so is Eric. He's in the ambulance asking about Bree, if she's okay. I think he was even whispering stuff like, I'll get your money, whatever the case may be, stuff like that. Bree, and these are the final scenes of Eve being on the show at this point because, as everyone knows, and if you don't know, Eve is currently pregnant and is expecting a baby, her first, in February, I believe, Eve is going to give birth. And, so Eve, I believe, is on hiatus from the show, and it's just, her storyline will wrap in a way to where if she can come back to the show, she will. If there's a season 2, hopefully there is, and if there's not, however the case may be, but I know this is the plan for the show. So this is, I believe, some of the final scenes that we'll see potentially of Eve being on the show in real time. A detective shows up to the hospital trying to figure out who would do this and why. Do you guys have any enemies? Who would do this to the people that you work with? Who would do this to your group member? Who would do this to your manager? And they're all interviewed. Naomi's interviewed and Jill's interviewed. She's like, well, I did kind of piss off my ex-teen. I've been kind of horrible to everybody lately. Valeria is saying that it could have been, her mother, Rosie. Who else? And then, Muffin is interviewed as well. And she was like, listen, you can't go telling nobody. But at the end of the day, JD Kiss and my manager, Eric, got beef over some money. And I think that's the one that did it. Then we end up getting into a flashback of how the girls met in 1993 back in school. And Bree actually was supposed to be Naomi's tutor. And I believe Bree was she part-time at a private school or something like that? I'm not entirely sure. Either way, she ends up becoming Naomi's tutor. And Naomi is rebellious as a little kid in the same way that she is as an adult. I don't want to hear about no Shakespeare. I don't want to hear about no white dude from 500 years ago. He ain't got nothing to talk about that I want to hear about. So Bree flips it, makes it fun. She loves Shakespeare. She loves rap. And she kind of starts rapping about Shakespeare. And then Naomi's like, okay, cool. Well, you can rap. I love hip hop. Who you like? I like Rakim. Who do you like? I like Tribe. I like Nas. Da 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 da. We should be a rap group. We should be like Salt and Pepper. And then at Bree's house, they're introduced to Bree's mother, who is this snooty doctor lady, and you can tell she doesn't much care for Naomi even as a little girl. And she introduces Bree to Jill, and Jill is a private school girl who's very heavily involved in the church. You would never think Jill as a teenager is who Jill would be today as an adult. Anyway, back at the hospital will not let the girls see anyone. They won't let them see Eric and figure out how he is. They won't let them know anything about Bree. And then the only way to get any information about Eric was to say, well, listen, Naomi goes to the admissions lady. Well, Eric Jones is my daughter's father. We don't know that to be true just yet. I mean, it could be the truth, but at the same time, I don't remember her paternity testing or, DNA testing with Cam, Eric, and JoJo. But anyway, that's when the woman finally gives the information and says, well, listen, Eric is out of surgery and he's stable. He's fine. Let's see here. Believe what happens after that, maybe out of order, but somewhere along the line, at this point, Valeria thinks about Bree's kids and is like, oh, damn, the kids. rushes them to the hospital so they can be with their mom before the news and anybody else gets, word to them about what's going on. And one thing you could say a lot about Valeria, but she definitely holds Bree's kids down. She cares about Bree's kids and cares about her family a lot. And after this, you see Bree's mother show up, and you can see that even from back in the day to now, Bree's mom does not care for Jill and Naomi, and she also doesn't care for Valeria, even if she doesn't know her. Let's see here. And apparently, as we learn later in the episode, she doesn't really care for them because you guys are the reason she didn't end up going to Harvard or something like that. Or this is what the girl said. She doesn't like us. We've never agreed on much. She's never cared about us. We never cared for her because she blames us for Bree not going to Harvard. Whatever the case may be. Later on in the episode, there becomes this conversation about a surgery that could help Bree as of this moment in time. There's spinal surgery, there's spleen surgery, there's liver surgery needed, and there's also a collapsed lung. There's several different damages done, and without this surgery, and to remove these bullet fragments and different things, and without this surgery to help her, she's looking at a life of being paralyzed from the neck up. She won't have any movement outside of this. And let's see, I believe they got her stable, but she was not conscious, and there was something else as well that was going on with her too. She was breathing, but like I said, she wasn't conscious, and I think, was it touch and go? It was something like that. Mrs. Robinson completely says she doesn't want Bree to have the surgery. Don't touch her, leave her alone, let my daughter be. Don't touch her, let my daughter be. Don't touch her. The girls completely disagree. They want her to have a chance. They want her to have a surgery. They want her to be able to get back on stage. They want her to be able to be a parent to the kids. This is the only parent that they have left. Don't forget, the kids actually just lost their father only a few months ago and now potentially could lose their mother. Muffin gets into the room to see Eric, talks to him, goes down to the gift shop, buys him this big old fluffy teddy bear. He's hip hop. He's like, that ain't what I'm trying to have. Like, what's this about? And she was like, well, this is all they had. Naomi gets into the room and lets Eric know, listen, you can't be doing stuff like this. Anything could have happened to you. What would I have told JoJo? What was I supposed to explain to her if something happened to you? And she's like, yo, I really need this to be official. He thinking that Naomi proposing. She's like, no, I'm not proposing. But at the end of the day, you are not on her birth certificate. What if I add you to it? You can retro add a name on a birth certificate if the mother or father's name is missing. And they have this romantic moment where they kiss, and they like, well, listen, we need to go ahead and try to do things for real and make things official, like a referee with a whistle. I don't know where this puts Naomi and the Rodrigo dude. I think that's his name, the director dude. I don't know where this puts them at, but hey, it may not be nothing. Let's see. Also, too, in the conversation with Muffin, Eric is plotting revenge on Jadakiss because he's like, I know he the one that lit me up. I know it was him. 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 And as soon as I get up out of here, get up out this bed, it's on. Muffin's like, listen, that ain't what this is. You don't have to retaliate like that no more. That's not what we do. This is not the 90s. I know you think this is the 90s, but this is not the 90s. This is not how we handle this no more. We handle this in a different way. And Eric's like, listen, that's how Jada handles it, so that's how I handle it. Let's see here. So back to seeing how the girls met back in the 90s in school. They end up going to do a showcase in the Bronx as teenagers. And the guy at the door doesn't really want to let them in. He's like, man, listen, y'all ain't ready for this. This ain't this. This ain't that. This ain't that. This ain't this. And they're like, yes, we are. This is what we about to do. We could rap. Well, they spot Bree's mother. Bree's mother pops up at the club because she finds out that they sneaked out the crib and it's about to be on. So at this point, they're like, well, look, we don't care if she's here. We made it all this way. We paid double to get in. We came all the way from Queens. We getting on this show. Please put us on next. And the dude looks at the CD, the little demo. He's like, y'all some nasty little bees or whatever the case may be. And he puts them on and introduces them as the Nasty Bees. And that was what ended up happening. They ended up doing a great show. They ended up getting in trouble. Bree's mom, Mrs. Robinson, is like, get your asses in the car, because at this point it's on. And when they go to the car, they're met by young Eric. And I say young Eric because young Eric looked old as hell, and he looked mad old to be talking to them little girls, like for real, like they look like little prepubescent little like 13-year-olds, and he looked every bit of 21, 25. Young Eric don't look too much like younger than current Eric, but that's neither here nor there. Sorry, Queens, they could have did something different with that. Like he definitely could have looked younger. Like I know he's supposed to be a little bit older than him, but he ain't have to look that much older than like where was like I don't know, where was Trevor Jackson for the role? Or something like that. You know, where was I don't know anybody. Where was Jacob Lattimore? Like y'all had to go for like yeah, no, a dude who was playing young Eric, he looked like every bit of 27. Either way, Jadakiss comes to the hospital to meet current Eric, who's laid up in the hospital. He's like, I ain't done with you. When you get up out of here, it's going on. It's going down. I'm not finished with you. Whoever did this to you, going to wish that they finished the job because me and you, we got business. And Eric was like, you had to shoot me. You had to shoot Bree too. And he was like, you think me and my people's got problems with Professor Sex? You think we would shoot her and you? No, we just wanted you. And that's when Jada lets me know, yeah, I don't, you know, I want to deal with you, but I would never do nothing to harm her. Shout out to Jadakiss. Jadakiss is really having a 2021, like he's really winning 2021. There's new music, there's touring. He done snatched 2 versus victories, and then he got this acting career going on. So at the end of the day, where has Jadakiss lost in 2021? Jadakiss has won 2021. As far as I'm concerned, he has won 2021 in general. Muffin sees Jadakiss leaving the hospital room, and then she tells Valeria and Naomi about Jadakiss and Eric's beef and what's really going on between the two of them. And she is convinced that Jadakiss is the one that did this. Well, as she's saying that Jada's the one that did it, the detective rolls up and lets the girls know, where's Jill? Jill's currently in a chapel praying. And as he asked, where's Jill, he was like, listen, we got a clear shot and a clear angle of who it was. We know who the shooter is. And at that moment, I knew exactly who it was as soon as he asked where Jill was. And I have been telling y'all from the very beginning, I've been telling y'all that it was this fool Darren who is in the chapel next to Jill. And at that moment, it is revealed that this is the shooter. He didn't confess it yet, but, you know, of course, this is the grand reveal. As they said last week, we're going to see who the shooter was. Well, that's who it was. And I knew it was going to be him from the very beginning. From the way Jill handled their divorce, I knew it was going to be him. So back in the chapel after the commercial, Jill is clearly creeped out and is like, dude, are you really here? And he's speaking erratically, speaking in riddles, you know, speaking biblically in and out, you know, saying that everything is God's plan. Me and you supposed to have a baby. That's God's plan. That bullet didn't hit you because it was God's plan, you know, referencing the episode. And of course, I think every single episode is named after a hip hop song. So, you know, God's Plan was a big #1 by Drake, of course. And he admitted that he was the shooter at this point. Well, their argument turns into a struggle, and the struggle turns kind of abusive. And I don't want to say kind of abusive. It turns abusive because he puts his hands around Jill's neck, and I think he actually tries to kill her. Like, he was choking out. She couldn't breathe. Well, in the middle of it, as the detective and the ladies rush to the chapel, Jill grabs a candlestick holder, knocks him over the head with it. He bleeds out. I thought he was dead. They get in there in enough time. He wasn't dead. He was just unconscious, but he definitely needed medical attention. And she was like, yo, he did it. He admitted it. At this time, Bree's being rushed into the surgery because the girls had a conversation about the surgery with her mother. And, you know, hopefully she'll reconsider. Also in the episode 2, Valeria visits Valentina, a.k.a. Rosie, her fake mom, and is like, where'd you come from? Because they found that she had a whole warrant out in Wisconsin somewhere. She's like, where'd you come from and why? Did you even know my real mother? She was like, I knew your real mother. She was my friend. And she's like, okay, do you know where she is? She was like, yeah, I can't tell you where she is because she's been dead. But she was my friend. And then Rosie trying to con again in some handcuffs, in the chains, talking about if you tell me if you get me a good lawyer, I'll tell you everything that you need to know. That's when Valeria was like, you got to be kidding me, and just hops up. She was like, your mother was proud of you, this and the third. I don't know if I all the way believe Rosie, because everything that she has said has been a lie. Everything about her has been a lie. So who knows? Maybe Valeria will find something else out, and maybe her mother will be alive. Maybe she'll find a whole family of secrets. I don't know. This has been getting better along the way. The show has definitely been improving, and the show has been um, getting better every episode. This is actually one of my favorite episodes this season. There's a visual outside as Bree goes into surgery, and Bree is bleeding out. They can't stop the bleeding. There's a lot of different things going on, and then she begins to flatline, and she flatlines again, and flatlines again, and flatlines again, and finally in the episode as it fades out, she finally is stable. And that's just it. Queens returns in the new year on January 4th. So in 3 weeks, we will see what's going on. Um, I enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed the season all the way thus far. What did you guys think of this season thus far before the break? What did you think of this episode? Who did you think was the shooter? Did you know that it was Darren, just like I knew that it was Darren? And what are you looking forward to the rest of the season? I know we have Remy Ma coming up in the new season. Um, and what else are you guys looking forward to for the rest of the show and for the rest of the season? Like I said, what do you think is going to happen the rest of the season? What do you think is in store? And what do you think of this episode? Tell me below. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend, all of that. Thank you to this very tiny YouTube entourage that tunes in and we communicate and have a conversation about all of this because it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'll see y'all in 3 weeks with a new review for Queens. Later, guys. Thank you.